The shaping formula is a tool to help make your knitting easier. It may look complicated at first, but don't let it intimidate you. It's just a way to plan evenly spaced increases or decreases within your knitting in an organized way. Let's see how we use the formula to plan the sleeve shaping. Before we can use the formula, we need some information. Your stitch gauge, my stitch gauge is 5 stitches to the inch, and your row gauge. My row gauge is 6 rows to the inch. First, count how many stitches you have at the top of the sleeve. I have 75 stitches. Now, calculate how many stitches you want at the bottom of the sleeve. I want my sleeve to end at the wrist, and the circumference I want is 7 inches. 7, the circumference I want, times 5, my stitch gauge is 35. I need 35 stitches at the wrist. Now, 75, the number of stitches at the top of the sleeve, minus 35, the number of stitches I need at the bottom of the sleeve, is 40. I need to decrease a total of 40 stitches. I'm going to divide this number by 2 because every decrease row I will decrease 2 stitches. 40 divided by 2 is 20. 20 is the number I need to use in the formula. Finally, I need to figure out how many rows I have available to do all of the shaping. I want my sleeve to be 15 inches long. 6, my row gauge, times 15, the length of the sleeve, is 90. I have 90 rows available to do the shaping. Now let's plug the numbers into our formula. We came up with two important numbers, 90 and 20. 90 rows to work with and 20 decreases that we want to make. 90 divided by 20 is 4.5, but we can only work with whole numbers, so we'll use 4 and forget about the 0.5. For the formula, we always add 1 to this answer, so 4 plus 1 is 5. The next step is to multiply our answer, 4, by 20. That's 80. And we're going to subtract that from 90, which will give us a remainder of 10. The next step is to take our 20 and subtract the remainder from it. And that's going to give us an answer of 10. That's it. We're done with the formula. The next step is to translate this into directions that we can use in our knitting. The last step is to translate the numbers you came up with in the formula into directions that can be used in the knitting. For our example, that would be decrease 2 stitches every 4 rows 10 times, then decrease 2 stitches every 5 rows 10 times. The formula is pretty easy, and you can use it not only to calculate for sleeves, but for waist shaping, or actually anywhere where you need to go from more stitches to less stitches, or from less stitches to more stitches. Give it a try. I'm sure after a little bit of practice, you'll find that you use this formula all the time.